So I started, I knew Coach Jill Sterkel when I was getting recruited, and I swam at the University of Texas with her as my coach. And she's one of the reasons why I got into coaching, and she's one of the reasons why I still love what I do, and she's inspired me in so many ways, and she's an amazing woman that I hope a lot of you are lucky to know her as well. I want to share a couple of stories. The first one is has to do with a lot of Jill's character, and she's a very humble lady, and I can't say enough great things about her, and she's hoping that this ends very soon. But one of the stories, I recently heard this summer. She was telling, she's here with her son Brandon, and Brandon, I believe this is how the story goes. He was swimming with a summer league team, and they show up for practice, and the coach wasn't there for whatever reason. And so the parents are like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And Jill said, oh, I can fill in. And one mom was like, what do you think, you know how to do this? and Jill's like, I think so. So it just again speaks to her humbleness. And another story, as an athlete, she always believed in us way more than we even believed in ourselves, and that's why she was such a great coach. And I remember going through drills and activities that all has to do with like how you believe in yourself, and she really built up the confidence in young women for years at the University of Texas, and I'm so honored to have been able to be a part of that group that she really touched and influenced. So the story goes that we were having a swim practice and I was not doing well. And I was really upset, and I couldn't hold the times I was hoping I was going to be able to hold. And I got out of practice, and the body language is slouching. And she was like, "That was a tough practice for you today, huh?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, those are the days when you get stronger, and you should look forward to the days when it's hard, because anyone can swim fast when it feels good and it's easy. It's the days when it's hard and you keep pushing that's going to build you the character that's going to make you successful." And so I've taken that, and really I think about that story a lot, and I share that with my athletes now, and it's impactful in a way that, looking forward to the challenges in life, and I like that a lot. And so thank you, Joe.
First of all, I want to thank ASCA. I want to thank the people behind who do the nominations. Like some of the others have said, I got the letter, saw the envelope, and I thought, wow, they must not have updated their database, because I'm not the coach at Texas anymore. and I thought, so I'll open it. And I was shocked, humbled, and it really brought back, over this 4 or 5 month period, it's really brought back a lot of memories. I've been out of coaching for 10 years, just over 10 years. And being here the last, it's not even been 48 hours, but I feel like I've just kind of submerged back into a life that I once knew, and seeing all you wonderful people. And Denny talked about the people that make up what United States Swimming is all about. Has really touched me. And it's so good to see so many people here that I, kind of once hobnobbed with, and it's been kind of fun. I think nobody gets to this place by themselves, and I go back to when I was a little kid swimming in Southern California, and the coaches, my club age group coaches that had the effect on me, and the other coaches in Southern California that I kind of grew up with. They were always at the meets. You get the Montrellis, you got John Urbanchek, all these different people that are part of your life, Dick Jokums, and they're still around. And that path, those people that have touched you all along the way, are what kind of, before I knew I was going to be a coach, they sort of were pouring into me different things. Everybody brings something different to the table. When I got off the elevator the other day, I walk out and I see George and Frank sitting there, you know, and on my first trip, my first international trip, I hung out with George and Frank. As a 15-year-old, I'm not sure what the other kids were doing, but they weren't hanging out with George and Frank, I'll tell you that. But I appreciate them humoring me and entertaining me. And then I soon learned I don't have to hang out with George or Frank anymore. But, you know, you talk about just your life changing, going to the University of Texas very early on when the scholarships were just starting to be offered to women. It opened up a whole new world to me. Gave me 4 more years to swim. I got a degree at the University of Texas, and I would have never had that opportunity had it not been for the scholarship that was provided for me. And we've come a long way, and I think we still have ways to go. But to see women being empowered to swim longer and further, to me, is awesome. And I was glad to be on the very front part of that, and very grateful, because there's a lot of people who came before me who didn't have that opportunity. Okay, the lighting's getting a little bad here. Yeah, no, I was like, and then leaving, or never really left the University of Texas, but stepping into a role as a graduate assistant there. My college coach, Paul Bergen, for the first 3 years I was there, really taught me to be a student of the sport, and I think that sort of ignited in me the fact that I could maybe be a coach one day. Because the way that he set the stage was sort of pouring into me that way. My senior year, I was blessed to have Richard Quick walk into my life as my head coach, and then I became his assistant coach. And you know, most people don't get the opportunity to have those types of people in their life. And then a little bit after that, Mark Schubert came through the door and I worked for him. So to me, that was just, you know, 3 blessings in a row that you sort of don't, most people don't have that opportunity. So I'm very grateful for that. When my coaching career ended at Texas, I feel like I was just hitting my stride as a coach. And I had to make a tough decision as to what I wanted to do next. If I wanted to continue coaching, I was going to have to make a choice to do something, go somewhere else, or I was going to have to choose something entirely different and use the skills that I had honed as a coach to do something else. And I chose the path to do something else. And there's a lot of times people ask me, well, do you miss it? And I do. I miss a lot of wonderful things about coaching. But coaching is really hard. You all know that. I mean, the hours, the drive, just everything about the sport is hard. And I feel like you all know that, we all know that, we know what we do. And for me, it was time to just take a break. And in doing so, some different doors opened up. And I sort of became a new coach because I adopted my son, or my foster, he left, I guess he got tired. He only came because he got to take off of school, so. And I said, but you got to sit through the talks, you know, that's part of it. But raising a child is my new coaching experience. And I only hope that I can raise and guide and coach my son into being a gracious, successful, humble young man and father. And that's really what coaching is about. Throw the times out the window. I mean, all that's important to drive to succeed, but really we're shaping and molding young people and trying to make them into better human beings. And so, which brings me kind of to my current life. I am a mom with a son. He just quit swimming. Sorry guys, he's playing water polo now. But baseball is his #1 sport for now. Oh, he's back, making a grand entrance. And so just a couple of side notes. We're watching the Rio Games, and we're both on the couch. I kind of said, watch us, watch us, watch us, and it's the 100 freestyle for the women. And a very powerful moment for me to see Simone Manuel just knock it down, being an African-American woman, so my son can have an example of what a swimmer like him looks like, and that's important. So I leave with you today that the more diverse we can be, the stronger and better we're going to be. And I want to challenge some people to just think a little bit differently, because if we're not aggressive and if we don't change the way we think, we're not going to change the landscape of the kids that we're coaching. And when women can see other women coaches coaching and being successful, that empowers them. And I'm very grateful today to have some wonderful women here who are all coaches, who all swam for me, or I'll adopt them anyways. One almost swam for me, but I was gone before she got there. But I think, you know, it's just challenging our thought process when you're looking for assistant coaches, you know, empowering women, pouring into them, pouring into minorities, pouring in, and everybody really, pouring into them, making them take the next step to move on. And challenge the thought process of, I think I hear this a lot, well, there's no good women out there. So there's a lot of good women out there, you just gotta look for them, and you have to be proactive about it. I don't know that she's ready. Make her be ready. Pour into them so they are ready. And then finally, you know, I always, you know, challenge it. You know, it's like when men coach women, it's no big deal. Why is it such a big deal for a woman to coach a man? It's not. It's just how we think. So change how you think, you can change the world.